to take a pasting here. We're going to take a real pasting. They've had enough. They've had enough, sir. Greetings and welcome to episode 66 of my Empire Total War Darth mod Russia campaign. And this, my friends, how I left it last time. And first of all, I'd like to thank all of you for your wonderful advice, my friends, your wonderful support, your wonderful understanding as well of the reason why I'm not able to really produce the videos on a fairly regular basis. I would like to do that a bit more, but alas, my friends, life does take a precedence sometimes, so I do apologise for that again, my friends, but thank you all for your wonderful support, your wonderful kind words. But there's been some absolutely fantastic advice on what we should do here. Principally, now I know the member of the council have pulled me up on my cavalry sort of tactics. I confess, my friends, I am not the best cavalry commander by a long stretch. I really am not, but there's been some fantastic advice from the council of how I should use my cavalry. I'm going to take that into full effect now, my friends. I'm going to try and carry out the council sort of advice of how they sort of advise me, or how I should use the cavalry in these battles. I've been using the cavalry. I've been putting them in diamond formation, as many of the council are saying. You get a broader front when they're in square formation, so they get a much larger hit box, as it were, a larger hit on the initial sort of charge. And also, I've been leaving the cavalry in sort of far too long in the fights. What many of the council are saying I should use them is to strike and then pull back, and also to sort of maybe try and outflank them by using 1 or 2 cavalry regiments to sort of strike the front, and then try and get either into the side or around the sort of the rear of the enemy regiments. So we're going to try and do that now. As you can see here, we do have 4 cuirassier units here. These cavalry regiments, they really are absolutely the backbone of our cavalry here throughout the entire length of our sort of the battlefields we are currently deployed in. As you can see, the Persians only have 2 cavalry units here, no guns at all, no artillery at all here, but we are absolutely packed to the rafters here with guns. So we've got, and also, The council also recommend that we sort of insert these 24 pounds into the line between the infantry, so that we can use that sort of shrapnel shot on these sort of larger 450 sort of regiment units here. They absolutely can do huge damage here. Keeping the howitzers at the back there to sort of add that sort of overarching firepower. Also, the puckle gun will also be put into the midst of the ranks of the infantry, just to add that extra oomph, that extra firepower. But I am going to try and use the cavalry in a much more sort of conservative way, but in a much more tactical, strategic way, as the council has put out there. So we really are going to absolutely try and do the best. We've got plenty of infantry here to use, and we've got a massive amount of backup here in terms of our reinforcements. I mean, look at that. I mean, that is absolutely effectively a cavalry army. What else do we have here? Now, this is the army that took the fight previously, where we fought just outside Georgia there. We're trying to pick apart the Persian armies bit by bit there. And again, lots of cavalry. And again, as you can see, the cavalry really is the underlying sort of backbone of many of our armies here. We'll keep this as it is here, because we want cavalry to move in first. I think that's what we'll do, have these regiments here, if we need them, of course, but they do outnumber us by a good margin, at least 2 to 1 here. Maybe even 3 to 1, I beg your pardon. So we are going to have to, but that's if we can get the firepower onto them immediately, it's going to do a huge amount of damage. Right, let's begin, my friends. We're going to try and pick apart these armies bit by bit, and because we want, and also the council's saying we need to lock in the Persians into and around Georgia, and then take apart their empire elsewhere. So in other words, strike further afield. That's what we're going to do, my friends. Let's begin the battle here of Armenia, the second battle of Armenia, as we try and wrestle the grip here, the grasp of the Persians away from Armenia. What a fight this will be. And as I was saying before, we control great swathes of the Middle East. We also have Persia itself under our control, but we're looking to stretch maybe further afield now, sort of start to dip into almost a subcontinent, and that's going to require a substantial reinforcement in that area. We've also got Persian forces sort of milling about around Baghdad there. We have to be very careful that we don't overstretch here and lose some of one of our critical points there. Oh, look at that. Now we've got this small village here on our left flank. Now that's a little bit going to sort of break up any potential sort of deployments. Oh, wait, look at that. The deployment zone is huge, both depth and breadth here. And look at the topography here. We've got this sort of valley that leads down here. Look at that valley down here. So it dips down here. The road leads through the valley. As you can see, here's the main road, which we are attempting to sort of cut into Georgia. So Georgia would sort of be off that way there. I believe it's off that way there. Yes, indeed it is. Yes, so Georgia would be off that way there. So we're fighting in Armenia, but the road to Georgia, we need to cut this road and block any further movement by the Persians down that road, so they don't harass us here. So we're going to we'll probably keep our cavalry on this flank here, but pull away from this flank here. I know we've got the houses. We could also put men to the houses, but what we'll probably do is pull back and maybe move down onto this field here. So we'll use the village as sort of almost a point of reference here on the battlefield. Now, let's set up our howitzers. Now, our howitzers are going to be independent, but we're going to let's stamp our authority on this here. We'll set the ground here. Look at that. Now, it's a deployment zone for the Persians. Okay, it's not as large as ours, indeed. It does stretch though further. No, it doesn't. Oh, it does, I beg your pardon. So in fact it overlaps ours by a considerable way. So this is where our deployment zone ends on our right flank, on our left flank, and their right flank is here. And as you can see, oh, look at that there. What a wonderful place for artillery that would be. But as you can see, it then slopes down into quite a steep valley if you're on sort of, if you're at eye level as you can see, you've got that massive steep sort of incline here. Got to be careful here. We keep our left flank here well protected, because of course they could overlap us here and come from this flank here. So let's set ourselves steady here. Let's try and keep an open field here for our guns. And with that in mind, let's set our first. Let's have this regiment here, right in the middle. Now we've got the wall here, but I don't really want to use a wall, because if we're going to put guns in between it, I want to use. What we'll do is we'll set ourselves here. Now the guns should clear the wall. We'll have this regiment here. Gentlemen, please. We'll just set them back slightly back here. That's more like it. Just slightly back here, as you can see. Not sitting flush here, but just in between here, so we can have the sort of the regiments taking the full brunt here. We'll set them on round shot, but if actually moving we get shrapnel shot on them. Again, the council come in with wonderful advice. Then we'll just seal them off here with this regiment here. Let's get them in a little bit closer here, just to add that little bit of protection here to the guns. We might just set these gentlemen back a little bit further, thus. And I think we'll have our. I think we'll put another cannon here, just to make sure we've got these lines fully secured. That's actually not looking too bad. Mind you, we've got this forest here, this sort of outcrop area. Let's just pull them slightly away from that. That's more like it. We'll put another regiment here just to defend that flank here. Look at that. And we've also got a puckle gun. Now I'll hold my hands up here. I'm not familiar with puckle guns at all. I haven't used many of them, but they have some very good reports. And there's that road there. Look at that road here leading, this sort of path here leading along here. Got to keep that open. We'll set a puckle gun up here. Oh, good grief, sir. Actually, that's a lot. That's a larger regiment than I considered. And look at that, just set back here, gentlemen. That's not too bad there. Yeah, that's pretty much perfect there. Slightly offset here. Oh, look at that. They do well. They do. Oh, they're almost like a chain gun. Not bad. Now we will have to use the village here. Hopefully the village will break up the sort of the advance of the Persians. Let's just set the game. That's more like it. Look at that. Now we've got a good sort of complement here, ready for the Persians. We will overlap here. Hopefully they can come through the village here, and we'll pounce on them as they come through, and they'll hopefully break up. Another regiment here on the left, and another regiment I think probably on the right, because we've got to protect this right flank as well, all the way down here. So if we can get another regiment in here, oh good grief, sir! Now that doesn't bode well. So we're going to have to just offset this regiment. This regiment's going to be slightly detached from the others. So I think we might even have another regiment in reserve here, just in case. We're going to keep this regiment in reserve because this is quite a vulnerable spot here now because of this sort of undulation here, this sort of broken up our line. We will put another regiment here on the left, but we'll just angle it slightly here to almost cut that flank off. Remember, we've got plenty of reinforcements now. I would like to try and keep a regiment in reserve if possible here on this flank. Here, and we'll have another regiment in reserve pretty much dead centre here, so they can sort of operate on either flank. Now our general, of course, we don't have a general in it, so if any council member would like to be a commander of this army, of course that shall be available. And they've got no cannon, remember, they've got no guns at all. And our cavalry will be operating on this flank here. We're going to keep them at full. Gentlemen. It's like this mailed fist just hitting absolutely at full pelt here. We're going to keep them in square formation. We're going to try them use this cavalry a lot more tactically, a lot more strategic. Right, let's see what we can do, because we can respond how the deployment is. Let's begin, my friends. Let's begin this battle here for Armenia. Now they've got quite a lot here, but as you can see, mostly centred here, which is absolutely wonderful. Now, what have we got on the flank here? We've got musketeer Felahin. You know, if we can move out to the flanks here, we might be able to catch them on the hop here. Here they come now. They're going to look. Obviously, they're quite clearly switching to this flank here. So what we are going to do is we're not going to have this regiment isolated at all. Not at all, sir. We're going to be prepared to meet that threat head on. And similarly, we are ready to meet any threat here. As you can see, they're moving at a quick pace here. We just need to keep ourselves here. I wonder if we can just sort of go behind the lines here, allow them to come on. We catch them on the flanks here before they can even see us. Oh, look at that! Now I think we're going to immediately switch this, because we've got musketeers moving in on this flank here, and they're by any means nothing to be sniffed at all. So let's just quickly set our defences here. Double time, gentlemen, double time. Come on, for goodness sake, sir. Now we'll switch to shrapnel shot. Let's give them a good pasting here. We've got cavalry moving on here. Darth. Are they going to be targeted here? We'd like to try and catch these Felahin if possible. So again, we're just going to reinforce this left flank here. Oh, look at that! Those puckle guns have been a wonder. Oh, I like it. Oh, look at that. Switched beautifully there. Getting discipline. We must maintain our discipline here. Of course, we've got that cavalry moving on. Can we just strike here? We're going to be prepared here. We're not going to be caught on the hop here at all. In fact, we'll move this regiment here. So it's too late. Oh, look at that. These bowmen have been absolutely... Oh, that is a joy. Switching their flanks here, we've got to be prepared to take this here. try and learn to move my cavalry around a lot better here. Let's pull them out so we don't get caught in any sort of crossfire. We're going to strike the flank, the rear here of these. Let's try and pull out here. Let's try and draw them in here. Oh, this is a bloodbath, sir. They're shaken. Let's pull them out. Tell you what, this puckle gun has been a joy. But this flank here is taking an absolute pasting. We've got to move our forces into here. Let's try and get some help in here. Broken, ain't broken, sir. Let's get that impact. Come on, gentlemen, don't just dawdle, sir. Let's try and strike these here. Oh, they've been absolutely shattered. Just going to pull out here, just going to run them ragged here. Let's get them out, let's get them out. Let's use them all over the battlefield here. Get rid of these gentlemen. Oh, this is worked on. The council has once again come up with absolute wonderful advice here. We've absolutely smashed it here. The Cuirassiers are doing a wonderful work here. They've broken. They've broken. We're going to be pushed on this flank here. Good grief. This. Into the flanks. put an end to these, gentlemen. This has been nothing but an absolute joy to see. Damn, they've got us, they've broken us here on this flank. Now they've gone. Got a lot of troops, and that's the main problem. Good grief, they've just thrown everything at us here. Oh, look at that. That's going to give them a good pasting there, sir. They've gone breaker, lads. Let's have them shattered. Oh, this cavalry's worked wonders. I'd like to thank the council for their wonderful advice. Look at that, they've gone. We've lost a few men here, but my goodness, we've given them a damn. The places is going on here. That was a wonderful fight. Now we've given them a damn good bloody nose there. It really was, and I'd like to thank the council for their wonderful cavalry advice. It may not have been absolutely key there, but I think we might have fared a little bit better there. Look at that. And the council again has come up trumps. 414 kills, 349 fight, 220. That's a massive kill ratio. Wonderful. They've only got 603 remaining out of 6,000 men. Wow, that was some fight. Looks like they can try and reinforce him. Oh, now this is a different prospect here. This is a different prospect altogether. Oh, we've only got the great Tsar cannon here, but they've got loads and loads. Oh, they reinforced. This is insane. We might have to withdraw here. I think we're going to withdraw because we could lose this magnificent army here. We need to pull back. This could be way too much. We don't have the firepower here to really do this. I think we'll retreat, a tactical retreat, but still a retreat. We're gonna have to withdraw from there. We can then combine these forces back and then push back in against them momentarily here. A tactical retreat sometime is called for. That was magnificent. What a battle that was for Armenia. We really showed what we made up. Ooh, the Windward Islands, sir. And of course, this is what I forgot to show last time. We've got our, look at this, we've got a wonderful sort of footprint here. We've carved out a wonderful sort of niche, should I say, here in the New World, in the Caribbean. Punda, look at the amount of gold that's coming in here. Look at that regional wealth. 11,000, 4,000 just coming in from Punda. I mean, it's absolutely fantastic. We really have committed a huge amount of investment into these, and it's paying dividends here. Look at that coming in, 13,000 just from these regions. Look at that, 5,420 from Dutch and French Guyana. We really have got a wonderful sort of as I said before, footprint here. We've got a wonderful army here as well. This is the army that's pretty much cut a swathe through the Caribbean here. It's particularly the pirates. The pirates have been soundly defeated here. We're allied with Spain. We're at peace with Britain here and allied with Sweden. So as you can see, Britain has pretty much cut I mean, look at the British Empire. It is just vast. The US has not yet been able to sort of you know, become the US as we know it today yet, because Britain really has put its foot down here. So, but we do, and we also have Newfoundland, which I completely lost track of. And we still got 1,400 coming from here as well, which is fantastic. We've got a fine army here as well. Now we were we're at war with the Inuits, but that is going to take a considerable amount of resources to take this region here, Akvatuk. We can of course gather towards that, but we're not going to do it just yet. We've got the Hurons here, who we're at war with, of course. We're at war with all the native Indians. We are allied here with New Mexico, but we're going to stay out of the war here between Britain and Spain. I believe Britain and Spain are at war with each other, indeed. So we're going to stay out of that war. We're going to just keep our head below the parapet, as it were, and just do our own thing here, gathering the resources the New World is bringing to us, keeping a close eye. I believe we've got a fleet in situ. We do indeed. Not a vast fleet, but a fleet nonetheless. Ah, there it is. I do beg your pardon. There is the principal fleet of the Russian Caribbean holdings. Look at that. We've got the Admiral's flagship here. I think we've kept that because it has been in one or two fights, has earned its spurs. But as you can see, we really have pushed wonderfully well there. Now, what have we got here? We've got this force here, but why have Sweden moved here? That is perturbing, to say the least. Why have they put this army here? Now, we can, of course, deal with this army in one swift movement, if necessary, from these forces in St. Petersburg. As you can see, St. Petersburg is 51,000 here of our income is from St. That's why we've got such a holding around it. It's pretty much the sort of the jewel in the crown, as it were, in terms of our trade income. 3,683, not a vast amount, but that isn't really why we've got St. Petersburg so well defended. It's because of the income from there. Look at that, the trade, as you can see here, expanding outwards from Moscow and outwards here, as you can see. Look at that, 65,000 coming in from here, 556 from here, 2,000 from here, 2,800 from here. So all roads lead to Moscow, and the amount of trade and money moving through these roads is for... Wait a minute, why has that gone there without being upgraded? That is an absolute scandal, sir. And so we shall make sure that is fully in place here. I think probably because we did have a little bit of, shall we say, a little bit of harassment from the lower classes here, when they saw that this sort of clamour for reform really hasn't gone down well, so they weren't best pleased, but we've managed to bring that under control. But look at the recruitment on offer here from Moscow. It is just vast. Now we are going to send this army down here. We're going to continue to build up some forces down here, where we can start to strike at the Persians from afar. As you can see, we're not going to start building any of these here. We've sort of stabilised here, but the Persians still have some forces available here. We have brought that, but they have put an army here, so we've got nothing coming out of Basra. They've also started moving around Baghdad here. We've got to be careful they don't try and move against Damascus and Jerusalem, but we are putting into place, we will put into place an army here to ensure these don't fall. Let's just have some 24 pounders, and indeed some 24 pounds of foot. 2 more regiments here. Our income that's not too bad, actually. What have we got here in our army? We do need guns. That fire support is absolutely vital in any army, so I think we'll keep it at that at the moment. Ah, excellent, +1 to command. Oh, patriotic sword, which is fantastic attribute to have. Plenty here in Palestine and in Mesopotamia. So we are starting to increase here. I think we'll have a general here, and we do need more infantry here. Definitely going to spend the money on this here, because we need to look at that 800 regional wealth. Everything here, all these ports must be used at full capacity. So that's Trinidad and Tobago. That's why that's suddenly been boosted here, because we've now got a full global trading company here. So the Russian holdings here are increasing in power and indeed in depth. Now we do need to replenish and repair some of these armies here, so what we'll do is we'll look at that. It's been completely cleared. Completely cleared here. We can bring these up to full power. So we're going to move our armies closer here to completely seal off the border here. Georgia has been and will be continue to be contained. So our Georgia here is pretty much going to be contained. We do need to move this army in here that did retreat. But look at that Tsar, great Tsar gun here, look at that. And here we do have the army that can really do some wonderful damage. Look at those grenadiers. Absolutely fantastic. Let's move this army back here so we can support one another. If they try to break out here, then they shall meet stern resistance. Indeed. Talking of stern resistance, let's move this force into here to completely cut off these gentlemen here. Let's rebuild this army and replenish it. Can't do it all at the moment, but we really have done. We need to try and take Azerbaijan if possible, but we need to just keep these hemmed in here. Bit by bit we've whittled them down. Now further afield we've got these raiding this line here. We're absolutely fine, but they're not going to go anywhere. They can't. There's no way they can break this siege here. You know, they simply don't have the firepower for that. We've pretty much cut them off in the Black Sea, so that's secure. Our income has shrunk there a little bit, but again we've got to keep. We've got this. I really have committed a huge force here into trying to take Venice. We need to take Venice, but we won't do that just at the moment. But as you can see, Venice is starting to lose great swathes of their armies because, of course, we are effectively draining a huge amount of their resources away from them. What do they have in here? Not a great deal here. But what about naval-wise? Again, we could deal with that. So we might have to increase this here. And what do we have in terms of our presence along here? Nothing at all. But we are going to start scouting out where we can possibly move into these trade hubs. So we've got to keep an eye on what Sweden's doing here. Why is Sweden here, and why are they... If Sweden move against us, we will respond in kind. Great Britain here is at peace with us, but they do have a gigantic income from their North American holdings here. And look at the British trade coming in here through the Atlantic. It is just vast. It really is. 15,000 here. Denmark is actually bringing in a great swathe of money. So they are not by any means beaten. Right, I think we can probably end the turn here. We can't get any more hostile from Genoa. So the Italian states are indifferent, which is fine. They're allies of Prussia, that's probably why. Trade partners of Denmark. Our main goal is to try and keep these forces hemmed in here in Georgia, and if we can do that, we can then chip away, as the council requests, we chip away elsewhere. We have reinforced here. We can't get anything else just yet, but we can, of course. What we need to do is bring all these armies up to full strength. Having them at half strength is no good. We need full strength armies, so we're going to concentrate on that. So we can actually use some armies to sort of start clearing all these Persian armies here. We've got that's a large army there. They do have Afghanistan. If we could take Baluchistan and Afghanistan, that would bring us up to the subcontinent here, into next to the Mughal Empire, which we might try and strike out and do. Right, let's end the turn, my friends. Let's see what happens. Got only 13,000 here. That's fine. Let's end the turn. And of course, we're trying to look at what's going on up here in this sort of Gdansk. Spain. Nothing from you, Spain, if you might be so kind, sir. Ah, well done, Spain. Remember, Spain is still battling Britain there in the New World. So that would be an interesting fight to see who comes out on top. Who will come out on top indeed? It would appear Spain is taking its time to decide what it wants to do. It looks like they're moving up towards, remember they are at war with the Prussians, so that's, and look, you see they got that massive Prussian army here on the border. Spain really is a potent ally because it can look after itself, thankfully, but as you can see the Prussians are moving up forces, or do have more forces on the border. Prussia now. How will Prussia respond? We have to be wary of Prussia here. If they might be threatened, they might strike out against us to try and sort of almost gain that sort of space they need, especially if Spain do move in aggressively. But look at the amount of firepower they can. Careful there, sir. Sweden, Persia. Looks like they are really pulling in all their forces here. They're going to strike out against us here. That's absolutely fine. Looks like they're moving against Baghdad, which we suspected. You are not by any means, sir, going to be allowed to get anywhere near to St. Petersburg. That would not be beneficial to you, sir. Let them just move in here. That's absolutely fine. We can take that. Yeah, they're going to start moving against Baghdad, you can see it. But we should have additional forces en route. Inuits, Mughal Empire, Denmark. Look at the size of the British Empire, it's just huge. But what is that there? Yeah, we knew we'd be hit here, but that's absolutely fine. What? What? Whoa. What the blazes? Wait a minute. How are we bankrupt? Of course, Spain has been hit. Here, Spain's been hit. Wow, how is that possible? How are we bankrupt? I still cannot comprehend how we are bankrupt. That's because of here. Spain's been hit, so that's lowered that. Great Britain's been hit. Denmark has been hit. That's precarious. That is precarious. We're going to have to raise our taxes. We've had to raise our taxes here. That's going to hit growth. But I can assure you we are not going to be bankrupt. Not on my watch. So we've had to raise taxes here. That'll hit growth. I know that growth will hurt pretty badly here. Actually, no, it won't. Because we've developed the economy so well, in fact, growth won't be hurt. What if we put up to there? Now then it will be if our tax levels are high, but even at this level of tax we're still getting growth. So we can actually take that. In fact, we'd be better off. 31,000. This because our trade. Now I just can't fathom how, unless because we've been hit here by these, we're gonna have to strike out against here, I think, and deal with the Persians. We have to pull forces off here to deal with these. With these here, we can't have these roaming around like this. My goodness me, that was a shock to the system. And we'll have to move against Venice as well, I think, to try and open up these trade routes here as well, and try and link up with Spain. I think that'll be our next task. But why we lost so much? That was a real kick in the teeth. Luckily we can raise our tax. That's probably why as well, because we've just invested a huge amount. In fact, what we'll do is we'll send this navy here to be replenished, repaired. This naval force here will be put here to defend. Yeah, look at that. It's gone down from 51,000 to 20,000, and that's why, because our trade has been hit. So we've had to raise taxes, but fortunately we've got ourselves in a position where we've managed to keep wealth, the wealth of the regions, really high, because we've invested so well into all these regions. So in fact the tax rate there is not going to do much damage to us in terms of our economy, thank goodness. We have to do something about these here. We just can't let these. We've got to pull some forces off the line here. I think what we will do is we'll pull this army from the line and move against them. Move against this force here. We can't have them loitering around here. Excuse me, my friends. We can't have them loitering about here. And they're obviously going to move against Baghdad. But we do have now... excuse me, my friends. We do have now these forces. We're more than ready to meet them here. Specifically here, look at that. That army's not going to be broken anytime soon. Even if they throw in, well, some of their finest troops, particularly this army here. And we're gonna clear up all this here. We'll keep these units here. We'll keep these regiments here. We've also got these two regiments which will move against here, but I think we might move against Venice quite soon. But that's why our trade has been hit pretty bad, not because of ourselves, but because our allies have been hit in the pocket. And we've got to be careful here. Look at that. Spain really has hit hard there as well. Because of here, we've been hit here, because look at that, Spain has got nothing coming out of here. They haven't repaired that. That's why. As soon as they do, we can then really start getting some money. We have to keep taxes high, or maybe just lower them just a fraction to bring in that money, but also increase the growth of these towns. Even then, the growth here is not too bad at all. But you can see minus 32 here for population growth. But still, we've got to, the taxes are going to hurt a little bit more here, but still, they've just got to take that, they've got to take the hit, and that's as simple as that. Minus 5, sickly, sir. Right, we need to move them up to here. We need to see what's in Berlin. He's still got a massive amount of forces here, but what does intrigue me is, oh, look at that. Now that could be a battle and a half then. Whoa, the Spanish have thrown in some wonderful units here against them here. I would like, oh, look at that. I would love to see that battle there. It looks like Spain is not going to be it's not going to be pushed around here by the Prussians. It's good to see that, but they will start to feel the pinch here if they don't get their act together in terms of income. We are one of their major trade partners, so they need to fix that pretty quickly. Anyway, let's end the turn here, my friends, and let's see what happens. Bankrupt, not on my watch, sir. Mind you, we do have a huge army and a vast navy, so that is going to be draining a huge amount of resources away here. But we shall not be yield, sir. We shall not yield, I can assure you. Come on, Spain, repair that port. For goodness sake, get it repaired. I wonder if Prussia is preparing to move against Spain. That's a key question there. But come on, Spain, repair that port, for goodness sake. It's affecting our trade, sir. Yeah, I wonder if Spain is going to move against Prussians. Perhaps moving up against here, moving through the Pyrenees. We don't mind the Spanish moving in here. They're obviously sending a vast missionary force to try and convert Prussia. Plot thickens. There it is. There it is. Now this could turn into a war. I've got a feeling if we don't agree to this, it could turn into a war. That means diverting more resources away from the front lines. They're going to give us Norway for Karelia and Astrakhan. I don't think so. Mind you, look at Norway. It is a wealth. Mind you, no. We're not going to give up those regions for that. No. What about Persia? Are they going to try and break the blockade here? There it is. There it is. Not a chance. Not a chance. No, we're going to take the money. And you can be on your way, sir. No one's getting to St. Petersburg. No one. And then on with your tail between your legs. On your way. Yeah, they're going to start hitting us now. They're going to start pushing reinforcements up here towards Baghdad. We've got to do something about this. Well, I'll be. Look at that. It's time, I think, that we cleared with a sort of a partisan sweep. We are not prepared to sit by while the Persians meander. Look at that in Moscow here. I think what we might do is oh, good grief! Look at that. Touched by his hand. +4 zeal. Wow. So I think we'll actually send this gentleman all the way down into Georgia here. Now let's get these repaired and replenished here. 63,000, that's more like it. Look at that. 81,000. The in-traded income has gone back up. That's wonderful. So we're going to make hay while the sun shines. Let's get these up and running here. We're going to deal with this. Absolutely, we're going to start clearing up these forces here. I'll definitely move against these gentlemen here. Definitely clear this force out and start moving against these here. I think it's also time we started to pull these to full strength here and start to move against the Persians in some kind of depth. What do we need here? We've got plenty of cavalry. We need more infantry. Again, we need more infantry here. No, actually we need more guns as well, so we'll do more infantry and some more guns here. We certainly have the income now to deal with that. We're also going to replenish these armies up here, which we mustn't forget to do. And also here. We're not afraid here to invest in whatever we need to do here to make this absolutely farmland has been hit there, but that's absolutely fine. We're going to keep on reinforcing here until we get exactly what we need. This needs to be punched out here, so we need to take... They're trying to hold us off here, try and move, stop the blocks, blockading us from moving in, but we won't. But I would like to move against Venice. I think that might be a key. Look at that, 4,900, that's opened up again for us. So our trade is now opened up again. Have the Spanish repaired and replenished this on the front here? Yes, they have, and there it is. 11,948, excellent. We'll keep the taxes high at the moment. Actually, we can probably reduce the taxes just slightly here. Just on that medium growth here, look at that, 36,000. That's okay, but it'll probably... No, it hasn't brought growth back yet for the population there. We need to replenish and repair this force here, only slightly here. These gentlemen will be moved into here to replenish and repair. Again, not a huge amount here. I think it might do us well to actually bring these forces together. But a full army, we got an army group here, but we've got this additional force here. Now the reason we've got such heavy military presence around St. Petersburg is, look at that, 52,000, it's gone back up by 30,000. That's why it's so important to us. So I think we need to get some shape to this army now. I think we need some more cavalry. Wait a minute. And indeed, gentlemen, some more line infantry as well here. We're going to make sure we're absolutely ready to meet any demands that come our way. Let's just make sure we've got all of everything we need here fully upgraded. And here as well, I think might do as well. We need another cavalry here and also some more. Oh, wait a minute. And another cavalry here. Another cavalry, and the remainder here will be these gentlemen. Similarly here, we don't have a general, so we need just one more. I think we'll have another cavalry here as well. Let's make sure we really are. Baghdad is fully defended. We can move out then against Baghdad if needs be. We're not going to replenish and repair any of these. It'd be pointless because they're immediately going to keep striking against us. We really need another army here. Oh, look at that. Lewd. Aha. Craft workshop, thank you very much, sir. And here, craft workshop. Got these moving down here, but still, we'll make a statement. We're going to say we're not going to be moved here. Now we're going to keep them hemmed in here. That's a gigantic fight. But we do have other theatres of operation we have to deal with here and have to consider. Wait a minute. Global Trading Company, yes please. That'll definitely increase that. Fantastic there. Get Alexandria where it's meant to be. Oh, look at that. But we don't really need that there to be full. It's not going to give us anything here. Heraklion. Nor is that there. But we've got other operations to consider here, and that primarily being moving in against Venice here. And for some reason they've managed to replenish and repair their armies here. By Jove, that's going to be a big fight here. We've managed to take the port here, the Trieste. Look, oh, look at that. Oh, now that's an army to assault with, sir. I think we might have to lead in here and take Venice if possible. It's going to be a brutal fight. We've got no depth behind this here at all. So we have to be wary here. I think what we might do is prepare additional resources. We might prepare additional resources here to move. Yes, we might put another army into position here to add to. We might move one army from here. Oh my goodness me, please sir, look at that. I think we might move this army here, which is effectively the Semenovsky army here. This is just a joy. It really is a joy to see. We're going to probably use this army here as a spearhead to move into Venice. We need to take Venice. In fact, who are Venice's allies? Britain, Prussia, and Genoa. But we're already at war with them, so if Prussia get involved, it'll cost them dear. So I think what we will do is prepare for that, just in case. Cuirassiers, 4 regiments at least, and the remaining here. Going to prepare ourselves for what could be an incoming fight. We don't really have anything else in the area that can really produce troops to this magnitude. So if we pull the Semenovsky army from here and move against Venice, that's a big gamble. It opens up quite a hole here in our defences, but I think we've got enough here to hold off a sizable attack by the Prussians. Even if they do, we've still got an army group here ready to strike against them if they move against our flanks. Look what they got here. My goodness me, they are not. They're not leaving anything to chance, are they? They could strike across the border quite quickly here if they wanted to, but so could we. Specifically here, I mean, the armies they've got here are quite exceptional. Guard the Corps. Yeah, they've got some very nice arms. But I think we'll take the gamble, and that's moving against Venice. If we can take Venice, we've effectively linked up with our allies here, the Spanish. We can even move against Genoa if possible, and bring all of this under our control here. Maybe even move down against the Italians here and take Rome. That really would give us a massive foothold here, and sort of almost start to move around past the Prussians here. Start to move against, because we can then sort of possibly aid our allies, the Spanish, if they come under a lot of attack and a lot of pressure. It's more of a strategic advance from us. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4. We've got 5 armies. We needed probably 2 army groups. What we'll do is we'll move this Semenovsky army, what I'm calling the Semenovsky army, by General Alexander Larson here, into the region here. So we're going to move against them. Might use this army here, I think, to spearhead that attack, but by Jove, it's going to bring in a huge response from the Venetians. It really is going to bring in a massive response from them. But we'll just wait for this army to settle in to its encampment around here, then we'll move against them. What we might just do is just move in here, just a little bit closer. To make sure that any move against this here is going to, they got the full support of one another, because they're going to drag in possibly at least nearly 30,000 troops here. So we've got to make sure when we do this, we do it right. But I think, my friends, we're going to end this episode here. I think we've done everything we possibly can here now in terms of upgrading. Everything in the new world is fully upgraded as well. Nothing left a chance. No, we've got a fine army here, but we're going to stay out of the war here between Britain and Spain. We've got nothing else we can really take apart from maybe up here. We could take Agvatuk with this army here, but we need additional forces. We're not going to break these with just one army. It's not going to be possible. They are very, very tough fighters indeed. But my friends, I think we're going to end this episode here. And in fact, I think what we will do is we'll just push against this force here. I think what we will do is push against this force here for next episode, and let's just bring them there. Let's clear this area entirely. We also move up against this force here. Let's try and push back here against them. Let's bring this force under attack. And we'll leave it there, my friends, so we can at least move against them. We've got lots of cavalry. Only one gun here, but that's all we need. We're definitely going to take the attack here to them. We'll take the fight to them. We've got 2 guns, I beg your pardon. But my friends, I hope you've enjoyed this episode. It's one where we've sort of had battles, but we've also started to sort of build the empire and start to sort of get ourselves on an even footing against after the war with the Persians, which really has drawn a massive amount of our military resources into one particular area, into the Middle East. So we've got to be very, very careful here. But we are going to move against Venice. We need to take Venice. That will give us sort of that. We would have that close link with Spain, but it'll also give us a tactical sort of ability to move around through Spain and attack Prussia from sort of the west, as it were, so moving from east to west, and attack them if they move against Spain in any great way. But my friends, I hope you've enjoyed this episode. I thank all of you for your wonderful advice, specifically about the cavalry, which I hope I have put good use here, and also about the artillery, inserting them into the lines. It definitely helped there. So the council really has been an absolute wonder. You really are absolutely fantastic, my friends. All your advice really is very much appreciated. Thank you all for your wonderful support and also your understanding as well. But whatever you do, my friends, please be safe, and until next time, bye for now.